I am gonna update that opening this year. That is on my list, man. We got to get something a little snappier in there and put Bill's name in there. It was so much work to like put that thing together that I was like, but I got a whole song in mind. I just got to get somebody to do it. Welcome, hi, Lounge Lizards, to another episode of Legions Lounge, episode 70. We're at 70, boys. That's pretty cool. It's crazy. I know. Yeah. I know it's old. We were just talking about that. Where we talk all things Mythic Legions, Cosmic Legions, Figure Obscura, customs, and other mythical related Mythic Legions related, really. Action figures and stuff. We are your hosts. My name is Trevor, 16shooter on Instagram. My co-host, as always, Bill Dranowski of the Dork Lair, and Nate at Corona4 on Instagram. Boys, how's it going? How are you?
Good. Yeah, it's one of those nights.
Everybody got good weather at this point, or what's that?
Today was nice.
Yeah, today was good. Cold, but good.
Yeah. Okay. You had some snow, Nate. Oh, you did too?
We got dumped on rain. It would have been snow a little further north, but we got a ton on Saturday.
Yes, Saturday was a mess, man. It was a nightmare. Yeah, it was really bad. It was a good day to be in the basement shooting, though. Yeah.
I was playing Magic the Gathering all day with my buddies, so that was happy as can be.
Nice. So are you doing that online with them, or are you?
No, we get together.
Oh, really?
A couple
Physically,
times
nice.
a year, and we get
Cool.
together and we'll throw on we'll throw a marathon of random movies and stuff on, and then
that's fun.
Listen to tunes and hang out and play, drink, eat, and
That's great.
turns into a whole day event. It's a lot of fun.
That's cool.
Sweet.
That's fun. That is fun. Before we get started, take a second, hit that like button. Helps us out, lets people know that this is happening after the show. Leave us a comment. Tonight, we're doing kind of an AMA or AMAA. Ask us, AUAA, I guess. Ask us almost anything. So if you've got some questions,
we're not going to necessarily answer everything.
There you go.
That's really that's the crux of it right there. You can ask us anything. We're not going to necessarily answer it. That's true. That's true. So if if you're watching this in replay and you want a question answered, let us know what it was. Let us know, some of the things that come up. We're going to be talking about a lot of different topics. It's not going to necessarily be all Legions related. So if you've got an anecdote about one of these things, let us know in the comments. As always, super chats are appreciated. Speaking of super chats, let's talk about our super chat superstars for the last couple of weeks. Kevin M. Boots, of course, already got a super chat up there. Curtis Ackerman, just a stream of super chats. Rob Zamora, Joe Gonzalez, Thomas Belay, Toy Loco Channel, Jacob Forna, and Van Johnson in the last few weeks. Thank you all. Appreciate that very much.
Thank you.
That allows us to do things like giveaways and things like that, which I don't have anything planned tonight, but maybe we could do something off the cuff. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Excuse me. Getting over a little cold. Came back from MuskeCon. We'll talk about that in a little while. But first, Nate, who we got? What's up? Muskie Crud. Yeah, it's the Muskie Crud. Yeah, I felt great when I was there. I think it was the airport thing. I think it was in the flight, but we'll talk about that later. Who's in the chat?
Who do we got? Speaking of Rob Zamora, he is first up on my list. And we see the Collecting Brothers, Dave Orkin, Vonnie Rotten Picks, King Castle Sieger, Jacob Forna, JMac77, who we saw.
JMac, what's going on, JMac? Yeah, we
great to see him. Blake, Josh Brown, Mike, Insightful Imagery, Gears,
hey, Mike,
and Sprocket.
Sprocket, cool.
Sath,
it's a newish name, right?
Yeah, I don't think I've.
Gears and Sprocket. Welcome.
Yeah. Welcome.
Oh, long-time replay listener. Happy to be able to catch. Oh, nice.
Oh,
great.
Mecha Record Cloud, Andy the Collector, Curtis Ackerman, Angel. I hope it's been a while since he's
Angel.
been here. Angel, that's right. Dave Bennett, Jeremy Govier, Michael Casper. What's up, Mike? William Harris. I am TJ Williams. Tanya McCoy.
What's up, Tanya?
Tanya Harris.
Tanya doing lives from Atlanta and stuff and interviews. Right. Really cool.
Stacy Lynn, who we saw. William Harris, I think I said. Patrick Boyle, Aristotle. Oh, Tomas is here. What's up, Tomas? Motu Guru, Purple Gang. Big Greg.
What time is it, Tomas?
Orc. Gotta be late there. Sig, what's up, Sig? Wholesome Warlock, hey, Jordan, Joe Gonzalez, Mythic Heathens podcast. Elijah, Captain Firebeard, Jacob Forn, I think I said him, Jeremy Bollinger, Jeff from J Evans 24, Josh Brown, Carver Custom, what's up, Brian? Collectible Fun, how's it going? William Harris, Steven with a V, Benji, Game Quest, Peter Gandolfo. There's a bunch of new names. Curtis will come back to you for chat there. Ish, what's up, Ish?
Game Quest.
Van Johnson, No Chewing, Kevin M. Boots, Kirby Smith, Kevin McCoy, and Rosedale Studios. Mark R. Mirko Caldera. I'm seeing a bunch of new names tonight, man. This is awesome. Jesse, just shove it. Cool Minivan Dad, Santos Rivera.
Hey, what's up, Santos?
Jesse and Legion's Workshop. And I'm going to back way up.
We got a bunch of super chats already. I know. I actually did talk to Jeremy. He doesn't think he can do what I need. It's kind of specific, like theme specific. So who knows? We'll talk.
Let him have at it. I bet he'd surprise all of us. Do it.
I thought he could. It's
he's so freaking talented.
I'll tell you about it later.
Yeah,
I know. He probably could.
And there's Kevin. Hit that like button. Cheers,
thank you, Kevin.
Cheers.
Kevin is going to be the guest on Shooting the Shelf next week. Cheers. Am I right about that? Cheers, Kevin. Cheers. I believe that's the case.
Cool. Mm-hmm. We got Joe Gonzalez. Cheap plug. Catch Joe G on Legion's Lair tomorrow. Heck yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. Nice.
Legion's
Lair is back.
Great.
Had a lot of good fun with Brad and Mike.
We did indeed. Van Johnson, thank you for not sucking. We're happy to.
Sucking it back, buddy, though, you know. not maybe not as much as you.
Mike with the $4.99. Insightful imagery. He's not saying much Mike. Other than giving us $4.99. Thank you, Mike.
Well, Mike will be with me on Maz's Toy Box tomorrow. We'll be doing the toy photography talk tomorrow and looking at pictures and stuff. So
look up Insightful Imagery. He's got a great Etsy, right? Is that what he sells on?
I believe so. And Insightful Imagery. So Mike was at Legions Con last year. I hope he's going to be there again this year. He is like he's jumped into Mythic Legions. He's loving them, and he's creating so much good stuff for. He does a lot of Mezco stuff too. Like he just creates like unique stuff, like a still. And the tables that he had for Mythic Legions, just wooden tables. I mean, you could use them for anything, but they were perfect for that time period. Good stuff, man. Just really good stuff. Look up go to Insightful Imagery on Instagram, and he's got a link to where he's selling stuff. So if you want to buy some stuff, it's great, really great quality. If you have him paint it, honestly, like if you're not a painter, it's a great deal, and his paint is awesome. He's a really good painter, weatherer especially.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. This is 100 proof Jack Daniels. What is that called? Silver? I don't know. Whatever. It's Jack Daniels.
Nice.
Haven't had really much to drink since MuskeCon because I felt like crap. So.
I know we went to the concert last night. We were standing at the bar. My wife's, "You're going to get something, right?" I'm like, you know what? I actually don't think I want to.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I went to a concert and I didn't have a drink. I don't think I've ever done that in my entire life.
Yes. And bourbon is great for colds. Yeah, it is helping. Yeah, 100 proof. Yeah, so watch out. The questions are going to get... Who knows? I may tell you all about the dragon tonight. That's how we get to it. All right, let's get to... I'm going to do a couple art things first because I really want to continue this. And I know I didn't get all over you guys to come up with some stuff, but I found a few things. Crimson Viper is always submitting to Maz's Toy Box, and it's got some great stuff. I didn't see this one. I don't know. We're about a month or and a half behind on Maz's Toy Box because It's just we take so much time to evaluate and look at the pictures. But I don't know if he's got this one up there, but I thought this was beautiful. I mean, it's another, skeleton spaceman, but just the lighting. I love the purple and green. Great color wheel choices there. Yep. And just beautiful lighting. And I like the fact that he used the Cronin head in there instead of just a straight skull. I think it just looks really...
It fills out the space very nicely inside there.
Very much so. Yeah, that's true, because of the length of it. It's really nice.
Yeah, that's really
so
neat.
Just thought that was beautiful. This might go a little further. I have this bookmark, so we'll see how that goes. Next up, let's do this. Our friend Davey, who's always posting the Cabal. I just thought this was really cool. Very, a little Frazetta inspired, but I just love the custom and the horns and the kind of the horns mirroring the horse's horns on the rider and stuff. Just a really beautiful atmosphere. I just thought it was really nice.
Yeah,
and he had a couple up here. He's got a cool one and a warm one, and I have to agree with him. I like the warm.
Yeah, I said the same thing. Yeah, he said I tend to shoot a lot of cool, so it's good to see him mix it up. Very cool.
And then my man Brian, Action Figure Neverland, crushing it with Alithia, man. This is a gorgeous shot. Really beautiful. I mean, the environment, the lighting, fantastic. I really love it. Purple and red is not something you'd put together normally, but it works because the reflections you get off those things, it becomes sort of, the purple doesn't clash. You know what I mean? It kind of works with it, and it's just. I love that she's floating. I just love the look on her.
Her head's kind of framed in that the yellow, whitish yellow back there. Perfect placement.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
beautiful.
Totally crushed it.
Really nice. And then posable art. I think you posted this on the Cabal as well. I love this, man. This is a great little twist.
Yeah.
I love this for several reasons, because I just love the composition. It's beautiful the way he put her arm back there with the wand, and that's kind of creating a spinning effect around her hand, a spinning effect. All some post work, I think, probably. But I also like it because the cloak looks like it's a different color here, like it's two different colors, which somebody pointed out and complained about on the Cabal that when they saw my picture, it's like, wait a minute, was my cloak supposed to be two different colors? No, light reacts with shiny fabric. So this cloak is purple, but it if you put a warm light on it, it'll look red. Yeah. But it looks great. I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
I love the little
eyes peeking out. Yeah,
really,
so cool.
really good.
Great framing. Yeah,
great angle.
Yeah, I love the
really
key. The cape almost makes like an S. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Yep. Opposite.
So just a few things. Wanted to share those. We'll keep doing that week after week. Legions Lounge art. And at this point, we're just kind of looking through Facebook and Instagram and stuff. So I don't have the page set up yet for Legions Lounge. I kind of want to do enough with that to make it worthwhile. So it'll be up soon enough. We'll tell you about that when it happens. What else? All right, let's get into some news. Big news. Intern for a day. Excuse me. Lottery is open. So you can apply through the horsemen.com/intern lottery. Apply right here. Your first name, your email address, your phone number. I suggest you use Amber Gonzalez as your name. It doesn't matter what your email address is. You could just you'll get it there. But if your name is Amber Gonzalez, chances are you're going to have a much better chance of winning a spot there. Then you can just change your name at that point. Let's see. So what are the details of this? I haven't even read through this yet. It's going on through April 11th. So you've got through April 11th to apply, and then I guess they haven't really said when they're going to announce who won. So there's no set date in terms of announcement, but you've got through April 11th. It's $300 if you win. Even if you win and you decide at that point that I just can't swing it. Something came up. You're not obligated But if you want to go, it's $300. That gets you and a guest, which, you know, if you want to split that with somebody.
I did that last year.
150.
I was Toy Bros guest. So
there you go.
It's a great way to offset that money is to have a guest.
Right. Right. And the odds are that somebody's going to, now the guest doesn't get the statue that you get to paint, to the gifts and stuff like that, but you get to go. And honestly, that's $150 worth of, except, you know, for my part, it's $150 worth of fun. I mean, just hanging out with everybody, getting to see the studio, getting to do the tour with Jim, watch Eric create stuff on the fly is insane. Watch Nate show you how he does the packaging and stuff. It's great stuff, man. It's a good time. For $150, you can't beat it. So definitely give it a shot. Yeah, and good luck. Good luck there.
Yeah.
What else? Okay. I'm going to take this down for a second because we're going to talk Pop and Swap. So we're a little late on Pop and Swap. That's entirely my fault. It's just been a crazy month. You'll see why in a minute. We'll talk about that in a second. But Pop and Swap normally happen during March, but we're going to push it to April this year. It's going to happen next month. Keeping basically the same format last year, which was like a first, second, third prize, and then a prize for the best black and red, which we're going to keep. I find it's fun, and it's everybody's favorite combination of colors. And the best tribute figure. What's great about this year is last year we just missed having cosmic figures. Now we have tons of cosmic figures. Now I don't think we'll have Outpost Axios in our hands by the end of April, but we have plenty of cosmic stuff to choose from. We've been including the Wall Tour, the Mad, which is now out in the standard version too. So the only thing we've changed is we're getting rid of you're going to be able to use three figures for your custom or for your Pop and Swap. We're getting rid of the Legion Builder requirement for being the third figure. So you can use any three figures you want, whatever you want. It's all open. Any three figures, no Legion Builder, limitations or anything like that. So three figures, create your custom Pop and Swap and enter it. So we'll have the full rules and everything up on the Cabal probably in the next week. I think I'll put something up and get it started, and then you'll have about like 2 or 3 weeks to put something together, put a picture up, read the rules, and follow them closely. We got some guest judges that we're going to have. We switch those up every year. Working on some prizes now. So if anybody's out there wants to contribute, not necessarily individuals or whatever, but businesses, you want to contribute some prizes, hit me up. Let me know. I've got some people already lined up, but we will promote the hell out of you. And yeah, that's it. What do you guys think about that new rule? I think getting rid of the Legions Builder requirement is gonna just make it clearer for people, because I think there was some confusion, and just pick three figures. That's it. And our judges are very good at looking at pictures and saying, that part's not from those three figures that you listed. So these guys know their stuff. So, can't get by.
I mean, there was a reason behind, we were just talking about that, a reason why we had the Legions Builder as having to be one of the three. We're just trying to be conscientious of, maybe new people have been in. It was, they're a lower cost figure. But now that there's so many options out there's been so many Legions Builders. There's been so many deluxe Legions Builders. It just made
That's the thing, Yeah, deluxe Legions Builders. The Legions Builder thing was like, well, it's an entry-level figure. It's a cheaper figure to be able to do. It's a little bit simpler. But now to distinguish between Legions Builders and deluxe Legions Builders is just too much. It's kind of gone out the window. So we're just going to do away with that. Oh man, that's nice, Mecha Thank you. Okay. Yeah, it's fun, man. Once the things start popping up on the Cabal, man, it's so much fun to look at them.
It is.
And I think this year, man, with Cosmic and all the stuff that we've gotten on the last couple of years, and the fact that there's so the other thing is that there's so many opportunities to pick something up now across the country. We just got done in the Midwest with something. We got done in the South with an event. I know out west they had something a few months ago. There's just so many opportunities to pick stuff up that it's very easy to have, a bunch of things, 3 or 4 or 5, 6 figures to pick from to be able to get parts.
The list of retailers that has grown since we started this 3 years ago. The number of people in the cabal who are selling, trading, buying, whatever is way more. So, you should be able to get your hands money, aside of what you want.
There's been so many figures over the past year, so many new drops releases that there's probably just a ton more people who just have a lot of figures already right now, I will say this, that delay is kind of nice because it means most people will have all of their in-stock sale stuff in hand, because that stuff's going to keep shipping for the next week or two. And so by the time this comes, by the time this event is live, people should all have that stuff in hand, which is
that is true. Yeah.
Injection of supply for everybody.
Absolutely. We wanted to have everybody have Poxis in hand, but now in addition to Poxis, you'll have all that stuff too, which is great.
Right.
Thanks, Jordan. Appreciate that, man. Thank you, Angel. I was kind of downplaying that, but awesome. Yeah, looking forward to it. On the Cabal 24/7, keeping up with his entries. Yeah, it's fun. I really think this year is going to be the best yet, man, because we were really waiting for Cosmic to come out, and there's so many opportunities to swap, and mix and match Cosmic with Mythic. It's going to be, I think it's some of the tributes and stuff that come out of this, I think are going to be incredible. So definitely.
Did we say this or not? I can't remember if we even mentioned this already, but it's Figure Obscura part of the.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're just going to open it up. I don't want to put really too many parameters on it. So, I mean, if you got a Figure Obscura, we're just talking about parts here, I mean, a lot of the Figure Obscura stuff is the extras that come with it. Yes, there's face plates and there's some extra things, but a lot of it is the clock and the props and, the stuff that comes with it. So I'm totally fine with you using Monkey King as one of your figures, and we're going to see how it goes. You know what I mean? We'll see how it goes. I think it's going to be fine. You know what I mean? We were trying to keep it so that I think we're emphasizing a lot of newbies and stuff, but I think a lot of these people now at this point, it's so wide. Everybody knows about these drops. Anybody who's interested in this and interested in doing this has picked up a few figures already that you could easily take and do something unique with. So, yes, absolutely. If definitely taking your entry photo on the stove is, wow, that sounds bitter, Curtis. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But I believe the stove photo did win last year. But no, we do have some guidelines. It would be great if it was just on a white background, a nice clean background. I wouldn't even try to light it and put it into a diorama or anything like that. If you want to, you can do that. But it's easier for us to see what the figure is made of and the figure itself. You're focusing on the figure and not the photo of the figure. So just keep it clean, keep it on a white background as as clean as possible in the background, just so we can see what's going on. So yeah, what is Go Figure? You can keep seeing.
There's something to be said about the stove.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Specifically, the kitchen counter, because there's usually really good light, just natural light in a kitchen.
Natural light is great.
If you have a nice, clean
too
kitchen
busy
counter,
behind the figure.
What's that?
You just don't want it too busy.
Right.
In the background. Yeah. But kitchen counter. Yep. Natural light.
Kitchen counter's fine. I would say, all you got to do is get a large sheet of paper or a sheet of some kind. Just put a card behind it, even just a curled piece of paper or whatever. You don't have to go nuts. Just try to keep things from, interfering with the colors and the structure of it, because that's what's going to sell it. Like it's the color combinations, the stuff kind of stuff that Bill's great at, doing like just putting colors together that work together. And if it's too dark and it's too muddy or there's too much going on in the background, you're not going to see those nice color combinations. So definitely just think about that in terms. No purple category, but maybe next year. You're free to do a full on purple. Listen, guys, like Purple Gang can easily. Award your own. Pick your own award if you want to give out an award for the best purple. You're free to glom on to our contest. I'm fine with that.
We've had some really, really good looking purple entries last couple.
Yeah, we have actually. Yeah, there was a couple good ones last year. All right, moving on from that. So look for that. I will pop something up onto the Cabal fairly soon. I got to present again here. Here we go. MuskeCon.
Speaking of Jeremy,
MuskeCon happened last week. Myself and Mal from the Euro Legions, Malcolm Kennedy, flew out to me, and then we flew out to Nate. Nate picked us up. There we all are, eating really good barbecue. I mean, really good barbecue, and along with Brad. Shout out to you, Brad.
Fucking
Hi, Brad.
I love it.
Fucking choke. We did that. This was when we were across the street at the pizza place. Yeah, there we go. That was fucking Chucky. Yeah. But it was so Nate, tell us about like how was your experience at MuskeCon? So Friday night we had the Midwest Mythic meetup. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, that was a blast. Pete MC McCarthy was the MC, the host of the event. He put it together. I mean, MuskeCon is his show after all, but he really, put that together. I'm sure with the help of a little bit of help with the rest of his My Wife's Gonna Kill Me crew, and of course, I'm sure Jeremy had a hand in that. But yeah, he put on a great event. I'd say we're guessing maybe about 60 or so people in there, but they had tons of giveaways. They had 3 different kinds of pretzels. They had a bar, and that's where the 4 Horsemen's Jeremy did a big announcement. So they got to
we'll get to that in a second. But yes, exactly. That's a big. Yep.
Yeah. So there's a lot of ton of Legion. I'd say we recognize 99% of the people, but there happened to be some new faces there, which was awesome to see. A few people brought their kids, which was great. They walked out of that room loaded to bear with a bunch of practice.
That was great. Yeah, they were very excited. So this was the little meetup the night before. Had a bunch of, this was kind of early on. I think there was a bunch more people that came in later. Like you said, pretzels galore. I've never eaten so many carbs in one sitting in my life.
I think they're loading us up with salt, so we keep drinking.
Yeah, that's the other thing. We're very salty, and beers, and
pretzels
it was great, man.
Like the best carbs.
Yeah,
it's beautiful. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And this was Jesus.
Chris,
help me out, Nate. Chris came up with. We met Chris for the first time. He hasn't been out to LegionsCon, I don't think, yet. And he presented Jeremy with this amazing drawing of Sir Gerard, man, which is like, you can't even see the details in here. I think he posted it on the Cabal, but the stipple and stuff that he did, and the clouds and the moon, and the armor and stuff is really, really cool, man. Really super talented dude, man. Yeah, he doesn't do like a lot with his artwork. I'm like, dude, you got to do more with this. This is incredible. Really good stuff.
Yep. Super great.
Brett Stoddard, not enough people talk about Brett Stoddard's artwork or photography. It's just it was a good, fun time. And yes, we'll jump over to the 4 Horsemen here because nope, actually we're gonna go to, where is it? Did I not bring it up? Okay, I'm gonna have to go. Here we go. There it is. Okay. So yeah, at one point, Pete brought Jeremy up. Jeremy and Jim were there from the studio, and Jeremy brought up a very new, never before heard from book, Mythic Legions, the first 10 years. So this is going to be sort of a guide, much like kind of the Dan Airdley Pixel Dan book for Motu. There's been multiple like Star Wars books out for, the figures for collectors and things, just diagramming the figures, the early years of it, going through and showing. Here's a couple of pages he showed of the figures themselves. He's going to go through all the figures up until I think some point at the end of this year. So there's going to be stuff in here that we haven't even seen yet, that I haven't even seen yet. So it's going to be interesting. Descriptions, you get some pictures. So this is kind of going to be a guidebook for your figures and the parts that they come with, and then like a description of where the names came from or how they were developed, or things like that. Just little anecdotes about the figures at the bottom, which is going to be a lot of fun. What did you think about this when you saw it, Nate?
Well, first of all, it was the last thing I saw coming. I just assumed it was going to be a figure that we were going to get to see. And we already know they're doing another book, right? So I thought that they were going to do a second one. Would have never crossed my mind. But when they revealed this, I was super excited about it. I think it's going to be an awesome reference book to have just at your fingertips. It's going to be great to flip through whenever you want. I love, like you said, they're going to have, it's not just going to be the straight up factual information that you can find on the website. There's going to be a lot of other anecdotes and inside kind of information we're going to get in here. It's going to be beautiful. Of course, all your photography of the figures are going to be in here. So I know
Jeremy mentioned, So a couple months ago, Jeremy and George hit me up and said we need to do a Zoom, and I was like, oh boy, what does this mean? And got on and said, okay, so we're doing this book. It's going to compile all the figures that we've done so far, and it was always kind of the idea from the beginning to kind of go back and do some of the earlier waves, but it was never a priority. You know what I mean? So it wasn't just it's stuff that a few of them I've been doing here and there. As I could, as I had something set up, I would throw a couple of older figures on there, but not a lot, not often. And he said, we want to. I think at the time they wanted to get it out like ready to go in like a month or something. It was like it's over 100 figures, and I mean it doesn't look like much to do, but the editing, the posing. Just the organization of it and putting it together, and then it's a different setup for the accessories, obviously, so those have to be done separately. It's a time-consuming project, but I said, like we can definitely do it. And I think there's a little more time now, not much, but a little more time. But I'm working my way through it. I think I'm down to about 65 out of like 108 or something like that. So it's happening.
Maybe if you would have told them, I can get this done in a month, they wouldn't have taken this out to the end of the year and included all the stuff that they said they're going to include. So I think that's great.
Maybe.
And another thing is, Jeremy said that this is it is going to be a pre-order, but that's strictly just to find numbers. It's not going to hold up printing, or it's not like this is going to be we got to wait a year and a half for it. He's hoping
they're going to be ready to go with it, either in print or ready to print as soon as the orders come in. I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know if they're pre-ordering a bunch and just kind of guesstimating, but they will take pre-orders. They'll probably take pre-orders a little bit ahead of time and then have this ready sometime this year.
Yeah, that'd be great. Have this in hand by the end of the year. It'd be great. Like have under the tree,
Yeah, this seems like right up your alley, man.
I love books like this. I do have the Pixel Dan one. I do have the it's Red 5 books. It's like READ 5 books. They did the Kenner one. That was a Kickstarter a few years back. That thing's massive.
Those look awesome.
I love this type of encyclopedia essentially. It's definitely right up my alley.
Yeah, the Lego encyclopedia book. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Blake, aka Recon Rage, with a $5 super chat. 227 days until LegionsCon 2024 will be here before we know it. Come celebrate. 25 years of Horsemen Studios, 10 years of Mythic Legions.
Hell yeah.
It's going to be epic, y'all.
You know it's going to be special, man. You know it's going to be. I know some things, but I don't know everything, and I know it's going to be exciting. It's going to be really exciting. And I'm not talking about the dragon.
Blake is going to be on Dork Lair again.
Oh, nice.
He was on over a year ago, quite a while ago. He was on. He's going to be on the next episode, which is not this Thursday, but the following Thursday, April 4th, I believe.
Awesome.
You're gonna have to put some blow up shoulders or something in, like when you're in between those two guys.
I'm gonna look like
between
this. Hey, man,
between Blake and Larry, it's gonna be. It's like
I've been working out.
No, you look good.
I've actually been working out, and I'm starting this final. I just finished my 12 week. Yeah, so we're a quarter into the year, right? So yeah, I just finished the big 12-week thing, and I'm starting again from the beginning, and I'm just up in the weights.
Good for you.
So yeah, I mean, so maybe by LegionsCon, I'll fit in a little bit better with Blake.
There you go.
I really hope Larry. I want Larry to come. I really hope.
Oh, Larry's got to come, man. That would be great. I would love.
I know he's been way into Legions more and more lately, so I'm trying to talk him into it. And he's East Coast. He's North Carolina, so not super far.
Yeah. But I think this is going to be
weight too, but it's all around my midsection, so I got to get back.
Yeah, it's going to include like some packaging stuff from Nate, which is great. I think they're going to like focus on some artwork that was, all the artwork that's on the backs and things like that. It's going to be a really comprehensive piece. I think it's going to be really cool. Stuff like this, talking about some of the tribute stuff, and it's going to be a really cool book, man, for sure.
Yeah, I love having physical copies of stuff like that. I mean, the websites.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's super handy to have at your fingertips right on the phone, but I love having physical copies of stuff like this.
Absolutely. Some more MuskeCon stuff just to run through that. We had Dave. There's Dave.
David Smith. Dave. Yeah, he was fun to hang out with.
Smith. This looks like a good time. I don't know what's happening to Brad back there, but there he is.
By the way, that's Maverick, and if anybody's not aware, the Red Death
that is Maverick
cosplay.
Yes,
that
we saw earlier.
That's Maverick.
Yep,
yeah,
I'll jump back to that in a second.
Wealthy
Mav.
50 first. Say this 5 times fast. The first 50 people to get into the Midwest Mythical Meetup.
That's
Mav
right.
Paid the way in.
Yeah,
it was $5 a head, man. That was huge.
Oh, nice.
And I think Frank Lira paid for something to help Steve or Pete said contributed to some of the pretzel and
that's right.
pretzel station and stuff like that. And there's Nate doing his Van Johnson impression right there.
I think that's what I was doing.
Oh shit, that's gonna be clipped right there. That's gonna be on the show. Fuck. You can't do anything with those guys until they. So we had Carver Customs, we had Dang Studios, Ange coming through clutch from Dang Studios with, first of all, her customs were amazing.
Yeah.
And then she came through with all sorts of treats, Rice Krispie treats, like just the right moment. I was like fading, and I'm like, oh, you're the best. So she was great. Frank Lira, the aforementioned, there you go. Frank Lira and Anna and their daughter, unbelievable. I had not seen Frank's work before this show. Like, outside of the Cabal, like a few things I think he's posted here and there. But man, he had quite a body of work. I picked up 2 of these customs, man. Just really, really nice stuff. And trying to get him to get in a table with somebody else, because he doesn't want to do LegionsCon. First of all, I think LegionsCon is basically booked out to like capacity. And Frank said like he wants to enjoy himself. He wants to walk around. He wants to have freedom. So totally understandable. But like I'd love to see some of his stuff on somebody else's corner of somebody else's table if possible, because it's really, really good.
Yeah, Frank's awesome.
Look
Great dude.
Great stuff.
Super talent.
This
And is a
dude
blast. Love those guys.
Absolutely. Some Jeremy with the Thor. Yeah, so the con was good. I mean, there was a mixture of vendor, like small, some vintage people and some artwork and some artists, like at an artist alley and stuff like that. Yeah, it was pretty good. It was fun.
Yep. I mean, it is small, but again, it's it's something I obviously am not going to miss since it's in my home state. But it's just it's like we keep saying, it's sort of halfway between Legions Con.
Absolutely.
It helps us all fill up our bucket with seeing our friends, hanging out, talking Legions, having some laughs. It's perfect.
Absolutely.
And it's actually, I forget who else was saying this too. It's the size of it is you're not overwhelmed either. That sometimes you go to LegionsCon, there's so many people there, so many people you want to talk to and hang out with. It's like, you turn around, oh my God, I got to see this person. This was a nice size that you felt like you could really have quality time with the people that were there. So enjoy that a lot too.
And just over this weekend, Toylanta. We're not going to go too far into this because I wasn't there, so I know it was a good time. But the Simple Tricks and Nonsense. Yeah, Big Dub has some great videos. Covered the hell out of it. Tanya McCoy of the Legions Ladies recorded the panel for the Four Horsemen that Big Dub emceed, which he did a great job there too. That was great. Some really fun stuff. Jim and George and Jeremy and Joe were on the panel and did some. It was really, really good, insightful panel. So go watch that on their channel. There was a lot there.
Has one too of the panel.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yep. Billy Beige has one, and I know the Purple Gang was there. They did a few videos from there as well. So. Gird your loins and go watch those. By all accounts, it was a great show. That's a show I'd like to go to next year.
Looks like a lot of fun.
It depends on a lot of things, but I would really like to get down there because by all accounts, it's a big show. It's a good show. There's a lot going on there. So, if anybody was there, let us know how it went. Oh, here we go. Got another super chat, Nate.
I missed it.
You tagged it, I think.
Oh, this one?
Oh,
that one.
No, Rob, you know better than to ask that. This is the AMA part that we can't ask actually so that's not going to happen. No, Curtis Ackerman there. We really need a Nate and Trevor vendor table next year at MuskeCon with Prince was out. Yeah, that'd be cool. We could do that. Yeah, it's getting things out there that's the tricky part. You know what I mean? It's a lot. Wholesome Warlock, with a big shout out to Big W. He hosted an amazing Mythic meetup at his house Thursday evening. Oh, nice. Before Toylanta and showed us some real Southern hospitality. Cool. Nice. I heard that was good. That's kind of one of the reasons I want to go because I heard there was some really good barbecue and some very good Southern hospitality from Big Dub. So hopefully next year. The other thing
brought to LegionsCon, I bet that was fun too.
Yeah,
quite a few bottles of some good stuff.
Corn Boy sighting and I didn't get to ToyCon New Jersey this weekend, but there he is, the man, the myth, the legend, out in the public, making it happen, man, for the people, like bringing people stuff. Amber Gonzalez there with him. So yeah, Corn Boy looking good.
Looking great, man. That big smile, man. Just, I said made my day when I saw that.
Absolutely. I don't know if I can get some more pics up here of him, but there we go. Here's with Schmurberburger. That's some great people right there. Steph, man. Steph.
Big Greg. Two Big Gregs.
Big Greg. But yeah, Corn Boy was out in force, man.
MuskeCon and New Jersey.
Yeah.
Con?
Yes.
Brett is everywhere. Brett is everywhere for sure.
Yep. Round.
He does. It's a good man. I love these things from Steph too. These looks great. I gotta pick up some of these.
Yeah, his table there.
Really nice.
I might just fall off my table.
Really good. Yeah, I was trying to find some more Corn Boy pics. I know there was some more here, but he was there and looking good, looking happy, big smile on his face. So, love to see it. Awesome. Welcome back, Corn Boy. Stay healthy, and we will see you at Legions Con. Cannot wait. So the other thing we've got to talk about here, real quick, we got to get to these questions. Sorry, but we did have some news. So. New packaging for Outpost Zaxius. So this is imminent. It's on the ships. I think it's coming over. I would suspect we'd have this by May, right? At this point, I would kind of guess. Looking good.
That'd be amazing if we did.
Yeah.
I didn't realize her legs were green.
Yeah. Yep.
Like orc green. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, kind of to match the top of the tunic here, the outside of that piece. Right. I really love this figure. I really can't wait for this. It's really good.
It's so cool.
Yeah, this one, the paint is insane.
Yeah,
can't wait for the pilot. Really cool. But changing it up a little bit, I think, with the purple, right? Mm-hmm. A little different. I like it. That's kind of a cool thing that each wave will have a little bit of a different tone to it, which is kind of interesting.
That's fun.
For sure. Oh, there we go. There's some more Corn Boy pics. There we go. Nice. Good to see him out, man. That's great. Very good. All right. Let's get on with some questions here. So, if you've got a question for us, I know there was some questions earlier, way up.
We'll go way up the top. We've got some starred.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You want to just start there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll pick and choose some things that we think. I mean, not everything is going to be, gold in terms of a conversation, but we'll see what happens. Do you guys remember your first in-hand Mythic Legions figure? That's a good question. I like that one. Membership will be coming to answer that question. It's coming. I'm working on it. I'm trying to figure out what would appeal to everybody that's on the channel. So, but do you guys remember, Bill? What was your first in-hand Mythic Legion figure?
My first one was the Deluxe Knight Builder, the 1.0 body, the big Deluxe Knight. That was my first one.
Nice.
From that would be Covenant of Shadow, right?
Yeah.
And still one of my all-time favorite figures ever. It's so good.
That is a good one.
That is a good one. Nate, what was your...
My first one was Atlas that I got off eBay. He was up for a really good price. And I got him, and it wasn't, I don't know, maybe at least a month later that I realized his little man bun ponytail thing was missing from the figure. And so this was May of 2019, and I ended up writing the studio and just saying, hey, I bought this off eBay. I know I didn't buy it obviously through your guys' channel or anything, but if you happen to have one of those little pieces, I'll pay for it. I'll pay for shipping, whatever. I didn't hear anything for a long time, and next thing I know, a whole new head showed up to my house with zero explanation or anything. And that was my first inclination of what a great company, what a great customer service they put out. And, and I think probably by that point, once I had Atlas in hand, I just probably went nuts on Big Bad and, anything I could get my hands on. So, yeah,
it's a good first impression, man. I mean, that's the thing. You make that first impression, and that's going to keep people. And I think they do that a lot. Very good, even when something doesn't happen.
Yours?
My first, so I went to an in-stock sale. I had no idea that these things were happening. I was kind of just getting back into toys when their Kickstarter happened, so I kind of missed that. And I started seeing all the knights and the birds showing up in some of the people I followed for toy photography, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" Wait a minute, there's knight figures. I have to get knight figures. I love fantasy. There was no fantasy figures, out at the time.
Yeah.
It was Black Series and it was Marvel, and that was pretty much it outside of 1/6. so I went to an in-stock sale. I think it was Advent of Decay mixed with, I think Coliseum had just come out. So they had like a mix of different things. It wasn't quite as, organized back then. So it was just like, here's everything we have. So they just put it online. And I ended up getting a bunch of things, but I ended up getting 3 Keltis. Like at that point in time, like you just press buttons. It's kind of like now, there's a little more structured. Like you hit it, and I'm gonna go check out because I've got to get out quick and get with this thing. But then the site was a bit of a mess, so like you had to just like you pressed it, you didn't know if it went in the cart, you pressed it again, and then you went on and just tried to get whatever you could and get the hell out because stuff was gone like that, or the site could definitely like crash or just hold up so that you couldn't check out. So you just got out when you could. Yep. So I got to my cart and there's 3 Keltis. I'm like, I don't want these. I don't want 3 of these guys. Mm-hmm. Like, whatever. I just got to go. I'm not going to get anything. So I checked out, got three Keltis figures. And Keltis was the first one I opened because skeletons to me were like, when did you get a skeleton figure? You know what I mean? Like, this is the first thing I've ever seen like this, like a Ray Harryhausen, like looking, sort of like skeleton, at least as close as we had at the time. And as soon as I opened that thing up and started moving around, I'm like, oh, this is my line. This is everything. I'm like all over this. And that was it, man. I just went down a rabbit hole of going backwards and grabbing everything I could, which was a decent time back then. You could get some stuff, but not everything. So I'm still searching for some figures. But yeah, Keltis was a great figure to open up. It's my first Mythic Legions picture was Keltis too. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
The Collecting Brothers asked us, how did we all meet?
I remember meeting Trevor for the first time.
I do too. Yep.
So 2019, I had seen the G-Con. That was like the summer of 2019. I had seen the G-Con event, and Trevor was on that. And so from there, I just had recognized Trevor. He was someone who was familiar to me. And so I was standing at Toy Fair 2020. This was pandemic was like on the verge.
That was when I got COVID for the same time. I got COVID for the same.
You got it there?
At that place, man. I must have gotten it there because it was a very mild case. I couldn't taste anything for a month. That was the only symptom I had.
Right.
But
that's the key
it was
indicator.
Ridiculous. They canceled the Chinese pavilion. It was all the manufacturers and stuff coming over because of COVID. And they had some like hand sanitizer out there at every booth. And that was it. Yeah. But it was, but go ahead.
So I happened, I was like lurking around the Mezco booth. We all were. I had been ignored by Mezco. Like I had a press pass, I had been doing, Mezco reviews and stuff like that. And I messaged them way early, and I asked them, and they're like, "Nope, sorry, you can't get a press pass." And I didn't really I assumed, okay, I guess I can't go to their booth, which is kind of how it can be at Toy Fair for certain things, like especially Mezco. Like they might not want you there if they haven't invited you. But so I was like, so I saw Trevor, and I was like, "Oh, dude, I recognize you. Like, how you doing, man?" And so we introduced ourselves, and I was like, "You think I could?" What do you think? You think I can just go in there? Can I just go in the Mezco booth? And Trevor's like, yeah. That was my first Toy Fair, so I was a little shy, but he's like, yeah, totally, just go right in. And that gave me the little boost to go in there and just get all my photos of the Mezco booth, and it's a great booth. So that was fun.
It was young Bill. This young Bill with this little podcast about SH figure arts and stuff. It was great, man. I totally remember that. And I think I was listening to the show, but I am like on the spot when somebody comes up to me, I'm like, oh my God, yes, I know you from somewhere. How do I know you? I don't know. I'm just, hey, how's it going? That's like my default thing is like, yeah. And then later I'm like, oh, I know that dude. Yeah, I know that. But yeah, those Toy Fairs, man, I don't think Toy Fair is the same. I mean, I don't think Mezco even does it anymore, but most Mezco Toy Fairs, when you could get in and you could get the ticket and you could get the package that you got, that was some shit, man. Like you got some good stuff.
Yeah.
I got snubbed for a Batman one year that was like I think it's like a really hot Batman too. Like you can't get anywhere else except for Toy Fair, but I do remember that. And then Nate, you and I met at Legions Con. I mean, no, where did we no, well, we met online because we're talking online, and then
right, I think I reached out
yeah. You weren't at Legions Con, the first Legions Con, right? No, you weren't at the first Legions Con.
We just started a virtual friendship for a long time, actually.
I keep thinking about we met in person because I feel like I know you so in that way. You know what I mean? Like we met once and then but yeah, I think it was just through photography.
Yeah.
And Instagram, and we started talking.
I was a big 1/6 collector. I was just getting into toy photography, reached out to you. I bought that Indiana Jones head off you, and we found out we had a billion things in common and struck up a friendship. Right. Yeah. Here we are. Yeah. But the first time we met in person was Legions Con 3 years ago, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yes.
Yep. I just feel like I've known you forever. It's really weird.
Right.
It's funny. I think the first time for both of you, I was thinking when I maybe first sort of met Nate or whatever, but like for both of you, the first time for me probably would have been with my old Instagram account, Lost Star Wars. So going way back.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And that was, I had that from 2014, 15 up through when I pretty much about a year or two after creating the Dorklair Instagram, I couldn't manage them both. I was trying to keep them. I was trying to do Lost Star Wars as like sort of my personal thing, and then Dorklair as the podcast thing, and then I abandoned Lost Star Wars for the most part because it's just too confusing to try to deal with too. But
that is a blast from the past, man. I totally remember that, man. Holy cow! Like it's weird. Like early Instagram doesn't seem that long ago. Like 2015. We're almost 10 years away from that. Yeah. It's kind of crazy. It's crazy. All right, what else you got, Nate? Because
in person, Nate. I guess Legions Con.
Same Legions Con
3 years ago. Yep. Right. The first one after the pandemic.
Yeah. And then
when we first met.
And then when we obviously all connected on this show and we've been doing this, then it was the next Legions Con. I remember leaving the studio. Remember we walked over to that place and got a beer together?
Yeah, yeah.
And that was the first time the three of us were really hanging out, and I was just man, this is so surreal. Like I was sitting at a table, three of us having a beer in person. It was so cool.
We tied one on with our live stream that night.
Oh my God, that's right. Yeah, that was
the next night. I forget.
Maybe that was that was setup night. No, that was Friday. That was Friday night. That was that night. Yeah, that was probably ill-advised, but fun. It was fun.
It was a lot of fun.
And I think still live somewhere. So go look that up. Yeah, go ahead with this one. Then I got some Facebook questions. I'll jump on too.
I guess I can answer this question in like one answer. So like right now, in terms of playing like regularly, it's Magic Arena. On Magic Arena, I use a goblin deck. No surprise. I'm obsessed with goblins, and like I pretty much almost exclusively use a goblin deck like online. But there's a goblin called the Runevelt Horde Master, and that mechanic is that when a goblin dies, I can look at the top card, and then it basically gives me a free card that I can cast, and then I use this sacrifice ability through the goblin, this Dirk Prospector, and I sacrifice goblins that deal damage. So like I have a lot of goblins that sack for damage, so I sack those and get the mana from sacking it, and then that deals some damage, and then I draw another one and sack it and deal. It's just like a little goblin engine that I've been really enjoying. So that answers that question.
I really want to learn how to play this game. I just don't know where I'm going to do it.
Magic Arena, right on your phone.
Yeah, I guess. All right. I know you've told me that several times, and I guess I'm not.
Like since Magic Arena came out, that is absolutely the best way to learn how to play Magic. It's hands down.
Oh,
like, it's the best.
Curtis, where was this? I thought you were going to bring this to me. I completely forgot about this. All right. Well, you can send it out if you don't mind. We'll do that. We'll give that away. That's good.
Good
yeah, I think a Mythic Legions card game of some sort. So I've been noodling that in my head, but I just don't know enough about the card game structure to. But I would love something like that. I think that'd be
funny
really cool.
because like Magic now is almost like majority of the sets are crossover sets now.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you have
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think Fallout was the most recent one, and you've got Doctor Who, Lord of the Rings, Transformers, like just so many crossovers that obviously I don't know that Mythic Legions would ever happen, but like just that makes me think about it, you know, that makes me consider it. I think it would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
it
really
would work.
cool.
It would work. I don't think it would ever happen, but it would work well.
For sure.
Here's a quick question before you go.
Go ahead. Sorry.
That's all right. Dave Bennett asking, what are some good options? Good options for inexpensive color lighting. I use these Ulanzi lights.
I got a couple of those. Those are great.
These are great.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're still on sale, but Amazon just recently had them on sale for somewhere between like $15 and $20 a piece. But you can do warm, you can do cool lights, you can go through the color wheel here and do all these. You can dim them down to basically nothing. They're excellent.
I think they're basically the same as these Niwear, which were like $21, and there's an app that you can control them all with.
Well, that's nice.
Which I really like. It's a little kludgy, but like generally once you set them up, sometimes you have to hit them manually, the power or whatever. But at that point, you can go onto the app and adjust the color in several different ways, which I really love, and turn them off and on, which is really, really cool.
That's nice because sometimes you got them tucked way behind shit, and I'm like trying to reach around.
That is my problem. Over. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
so nice I'm kind of buying into this Niwear universe because I've got the LED cans too for the softbox, and that controls that as well. So it's kind of nice
having that on the app. Yeah, that's awesome.
It's a couple of non-questions here, but just Commander Gree, man, what's going on? Harold, hey Trevor, I'm honored to finally join the Cosmic Legions family. I was overwhelmed at their display and couldn't walk away empty-handed. That's awesome because I think Gree was in Toylanta, so that's awesome.
Cool.
Happy. I can't wait to see you shoot some stuff because he's excellent photographer. I can't wait to see what he does with those.
Good Star Wars stuff.
And Mike just confirming that he will be there this year. Awesome. We have to hang out more, Mike.
Heck yeah, Mike.
All right, a couple questions from Facebook because I did ask people to ask some questions. I thought this one from Jacob was interesting. Favorite monster could be one of the classic Universal crew or something like a Kraken or a Wampa. Anybody got an answer for that?
Favorite monster.
I'm going to say, for me, probably since a kid, it's been the Loch Ness, like Nessie, because I just there's something about like the deep, underwater, that mysterious, that picture that was turned out to be a toy. I just wanted that to, more than anything, I wanted that to be true. I don't know why. I used to read you watched, as a kid, I watched what was the one that Leonard Nimoy hosted? In Search of. In Search of had all those things, and it would go in for a half an hour in depth on the Loch Ness Monster or Bigfoot.
That's awesome. That's
and
fun.
To me, if anything could actually exist, it would have been the Loch Ness Monster. One of those some prehistoric, maybe not as big as they said it was, but some prehistoric creature that managed to survive, in the water. Whereas Bigfoot, how is nobody seeing this on the land? You know what I mean? It's gotta be a lot of them. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just always like
that new movie looks interesting. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head, but The Family of Bigfoot.
What new movie?
Have you seen that?
Oh, really? No.
No. You guys haven't? Oh, I'll send it to you. It looks really good. Yeah.
Comedy?
Might be fun, but it looks super heartwarming too. And I don't know. Something about
nice.
It. Yeah.
You guys have a favorite monster?
Man, probably the dragon for me. Right now, though, I'm obsessed with Dune. So the sandworm is I'm pretty obsessed with right now. But I think overall, maybe dragon, it might be my favorite monster.
Yeah, I love both those answers. I might just go old school and pick from the classics and go with Dracula. I just love Dracula.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, werewolf would probably be my second in terms of coolness and stuff like that, or a vampire maybe. But yeah, I just always wanted Nessie to be real.
Like a classic, like that, I'd probably be like, I know Frankenstein's monster, not really Frankenstein's monster, but like Frankenstein's creature from the book, like the way he is in the book and stuff. Like that's literary. Like that's probably my favorite, like literary monster, so to speak.
Yep.
Good question.
Just going through some of these. If you got another one, Nate, you can bring it up. But I was just going through some other of these things. What? Okay. Well, here's a good one from Malcolm. So, all of you, what got you into collecting toys? Was it a case of not stopping, or did you come back to it as an adult? I like that. I like that angle of it. Like, what? How did the progression go? I think it's probably all going to be the same, but how about you, Nate?
Well, let's see, early 20s. I mean, I did stop in, mid to the late teens, then got back in early 20s with all the McFarlane stuff, all the Spawn stuff. A buddy of mine, a new guy I started working with, he's like, "Hey, you want to go to lunch?" And I'm like, "Sure." Want to stop at Toys R Us? I'm like, "I don't care." I hadn't been in a Toys R Us or in a toy aisle in forever. So we're walking through there, and I'm like seeing a lot of the Spawn and McFarlane stuff, on the pad. I'm like, "What the hell are these? These are toys. These are so badass." So I went crazy for years around that time, and then I got into 1/6 stuff, and then it turned into 1/6 World War II stuff for a long time. I sold off all my other stuff, and then I dropped that for a few years, and then I think like a ton of people, I got back into collecting when Force Awakens came out. And I found myself in the toy aisle looking at Star Wars stuff, and it literally reawakened my love for Star Wars. Not that really ever went away, but the passion just kind of went, back to a big height that it hadn't been in a long time. Found collecting toys, but then once I discovered that toy photography was a thing, then it really went to a whole new level.
Yeah,
so that's me in short. Yeah.
How about you, Bill?
So I probably stopped when I was a kid around 87 for action figures. I was still playing with Lego and video games and stuff, but then and then in high school I started collecting Magic, and I never stopped. I've been collecting Magic since 94. And so when I became a dad in 2014, that really stopped these regular, or we had fairly regular get-togethers, me and my core friends, same friends from back in 94. Wow. And my buddy was working at Hasbro at the time too, like a little before that maybe, and then he left Hasbro, and so we had just the best source of cheap cards, just like bargain discount boxes and boxes. We just had access. He had access to so much, so through him I had a ton. And then so there was that combination of things. I really without playing a lot, and then without because of becoming a dad, and then without having that cheap access to cards, I for a little while I stopped buying cards, and I just stopped playing Magic. I still collected it and never got rid of anything, but it was very much slow paced on the side, didn't pay a lot of attention to it. And then I was thinking, you know what? I think I want to go back and collect some old vintage Kenner stuff. I never kept it, the vintage Star Wars Kenner stuff. I never kept my stuff. I didn't have anything. And so I decided, that'll be the thing I collect, and that was kind of tricky because it was already expensive. And so I had to rely on going to Craigslist and trying to find, and that took time. So it was sort of I picked up some, I did a little bit of that. And then, but while I was online researching, okay, I got this dumpy set from some guy's garage that's been sitting there for 25 years. How do I clean it up? How do I clean these without ruining them and stuff? So that led me to Reddit, and I was looking at I was looking at action figures on Reddit, and that just kind of showed me that like Black Series had just come out at the time, and just a lot of other stuff just kind of opened my eyes to modern collecting, and then I kind of never looked back from there. And then podcasting really like kept it going. So I was doing another podcast, and then eventually it kind of rolled into the Dorclair podcast, and then like the podcasting and the community aspect of it, and especially Legions, all of that really just kept snowballing it and kept it going quite a bit.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Force Awakens was a thing for everybody of our age. I collected a lot when I was a kid. I still have my Darth Vader case filled with all my original figures and all the guns, almost all the guns. But everything else kind of felt that, and comic books I kind of felt I kind of kept, and I've carried them with me wherever I went. It's kind of been kind of a burden, but I'm glad I did. But I mean, in terms of like picking new things up, probably not until 2014, somewhere around there. When did The Force Awakens come out?
2016.
It was before The Force Awakens.
15.
Yeah, it was before The Force Awakens, because I had a friend who I worked with who started collecting Hot Toys, had a lot of them in his office, and they were just like cool looking. So I went in and I started looking at those, and I was like, $180. Like, what? Who's paying $180 for this thing? Boy, little did I know. So I would pick up a few little things just to have on my desk, like, a Dark Knight Returns, like little Batman thing from McFarlane or whatever like that. But then, the Force Awakens came out, and and Hot Toys started coming out with the A New Hope figures right around that time, and I saw went into a toy store that had just opened near me, and they had the Chewbacca and Han Solo, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna get that. I'll get that. It'll be like a little representation of my love of Star Wars on the desk, and that's good enough. That's good enough. And then, you get that, and it's kind of like, it'd be nice if I had Luke Skywalker too, because Luke Skywalker's kind of Darth Vader would be great too, because Darth Vader is really kind of the. Well, I mean, I've got Luke, and I've got Han, and I've got Chewie. I gotta have Leia, and
the droids.
Then you gotta have stormtroopers and the droids. Yeah, so that's how it gets out of control. And then like Bill, I started posting some stuff on Instagram, and seeing like Black Series and Marvel Legends that I had no idea were out there, because I just wasn't looking for them. So it was an eye opener. So I definitely came back to it after several years of being away from collecting. But I don't think I regret it. I don't know. I'm not sure.
We wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for that.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. We wouldn't be doing this. You got another question there, Nate, or you want me to pull something up?
I haven't seen any questions popping up.
Okay.
I did see
what new race? Go ahead. Yep.
I was just going to say, we were just talking about Chris and his art. This, if I would have thought a little bit more, would have been my monster for sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Blue, yeah, that's a great answer.
Along those lines, what? Go ahead. Go, Bill. Go.
I just want to pull up Jeff's question. It's just more of an informational kind of thing. He's going to go to the Chicago Toy Show next month. This will be the first time I buy from them in person. Do I need to be there super early? Are there items that are in short supply? There will be. It's hard to say. Like, a lot of people do line up early. They want to try to get that first pick of the table, but like, whenever you go, you never know. There might be some random kind of short supply case of something that could come out, but there's going to be stuff all day. So, but there could be a line all day too. Sometimes there's a line just the whole time for some shows,
It hasn't been crazy lately at the shows that I've been at, like all day long, but there has been some. So, MuskeCon, there was a couple of things. The Valiant Night. If you want a Valiant Night, they're generally there. They were all there all day, right, Nate? I mean, they were there.
I don't think those sold out, but there were. I want to say
towards the end of the day, it got a little light on them, right?
Yeah, they were getting real low on those, but there were 3 figures.
But I did
that they didn't have a lot of, and they were gone.
I did see Thump, which I picked up in my hand, and I'm like, I should pick up another Thump. I probably have another one somewhere, but like, I like that. I like that character, and it's a goblin, and that's kind of like it. That's an older wave. So there will be things like Thump, and there was like maybe 4 of those there, and I don't know if Thwick was there or not, but there was some other goblins. So it's kind of random what you're going to find, but I think for the most part, I know at Toylanta they had a lot more Figura Obscura than they had at MuskeCon. They didn't have a lot of Figura Obscura, if any, Figura Obscura at MuskeCon. I'm not sure. Did they?
I don't think they did. I don't know.
I don't think they did. Toylanta they did.
Trolls, but yeah, I don't think they had Figura there. Yeah.
ToyCon New Jersey, they had those. They had Figura Obscuras, Monkey King. So there's going to be a few of those things that if you are not in the first 30 people, maybe 50, depending. Not everybody's going to pick up everything, but if you see the lines getting long, you might want to think about getting.
And they may, depending on how much stock they bring and everything, they may even have like a 1-figure limit, like 1 of each figure limit.
Right.
They may say you can only have 2 of these or something, but
so if they have only a case of something.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get there early, I have no problem getting there early. You won't lose.
I would say it all depends on what you want. If you want stuff that's like generally available right now, that recent waves, don't bother to get there early. It's going to be there all day long. If you're hoping to maybe get your hands on some semi-rarity, it's not going to be crazy, but like something like Thump that isn't, readily available anymore, then get there a little early. But
I will say
just walked in the room.
Also, going early and standing in line has its fun qualities too. Like it's kind of fun to hang out beforehand and chat it up with the people in line.
You're gonna meet people that you you may end up being friends with for a very long time if you're into this stuff. What is Avenger saying here? Today I searched for Mondo and Mythics on eBay, almost lifting up Trevor's photos. Oh, okay, yeah. No. I mean, people use promotional photos as their eBay photos, so that's not.
I saw a really funny one today or yesterday. It was I forget what figure it was, but it was like it looked like a AI, like hot chick holding a, like it looked like a human, like a regular human, but it looked like it was generated through AI, and it was holding the figure. Like,
no way.
It was really fun. Look up. I think it might have been a Valiant Knight, maybe. Look it up.
Really? Seriously? Oh, you got to find that one. Bring it up. I seriously doubt this actually happened, Curtis. So I'm just gonna say that. I think you're just like.
And she has like a fake, like what looks like a Jack Daniels shirt on. It's like, okay, here it is.
It's like a real like booth babe.
Yeah.
So, let me hold on a second.
See if I can find a couple other ones. So while you're looking that up, what new race? And we've kind of like, well, all right. What new race, or would you like to see in Mythos? Race or creature or?
I just started playing D&D for the first time with my family, and my daughter is the DM, but she plays with another group, and it's because we're playing because of her. She started playing this in the last 6 months, and she's way into it. And her character is I think I'm going to say this right, a Furbold.
Oh yeah, Furbold.
Yeah. I would love to see them, because I would love to make her a custom figure of her character. And in the campaign we were just playing, we came across some very similar name, kobolds.
Kobold, yeah.
Lizard, dragony kind of characters. I think they would be great too. I'd love to see both or either one of those. It'd be super fun.
All right, here's the listing.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That's not even well done. That's awful.
But I'm sure it stops people like, scroll.
I love that the shirt says. I love that the shirt says Veps Hodges number 30.3 points.
What is that?
Oh my God, Jesus, AI, good Lord.
100% positive seller.
110. Do not pay $110 for a Valiant Knight.
Yeah,
my God,
no, it's
as hot as this AI fake woman that doesn't exist is. Don't pay $110 for that.
Whenever I see ridiculous price, I just assume they're pricing it high to get best offer. That's my assumption. I sent her some pictures.
Well, I hope that works out for you, man. I really do. You guys would make a nice couple.
Hilarious.
I would say werewolves. Yeah, exactly. I would say werewolves. We were talking about this with the Euro boys, and we were saying that like they would fit in well with Alithia's brood because the werewolves and the vampires obviously very closely aligned. And I want to see brute scale werewolves. I don't want like awesome. Regular 2.0 werewolf. I want to see big,
perfect for that.
Big ass werewolves. Yeah, for sure. Halflings. A lot of people say halflings. I know that.
I think halflings might be my pick. I'd really love to see halflings. Like Same. I want to see a new even smaller body.
Same. Yeah. Yep. I would love that too. Even if you got like a 3-pack of like little pixies or something, would be awesome.
It makes sense that you'd have a smaller set of people, and I mean, if you're starting with fantasy, obviously that makes sense that halflings are a thing. I didn't really like. I'd read a while ago that I guess when they were doing D&D, I think they started calling, because I mean everything was taken from Lord of the Rings. At least a lot of the stuff, anyways, was taken from Lord of the Rings, and they started calling them hobbits, and they got basically a cease and desist or a lawsuit or something like that, which is where the term halflings came from, because they couldn't use hobbits.
I wonder if something that small is too small for legions popping and swapping for this kind of a modular thing.
Yeah. I mean, you got dwarves that are small. I mean, and you got to make them even smaller joints, smaller bodies, smaller arms. It could be tricky. Yeah. They did do remember the little timekeepers though? I mean, actually Travis was showing those us from, so there are little things like that. They're a little more, they may, you're right, Bill. They may not be pop and swappable with other figures necessarily, but I don't know. It might be able to. I mean, they've done it with third-party stuff. I mean, they've had these third-party parts that you can put together and
like the little mouse
gnomes, the gnomes and the mice. Yep, exactly. Yep. So we got troll scale skeletons. That would be cool. Rat people, not exactly a new race, but lichens, yeah, for sure. I don't know if druids is a new race, but yeah, I mean, yeah, a sort of. Foxes, Kitsunes, people love the Kitsunes. Firebolg, I don't know what a firebolg is, but
Furbolgs, that's what I was saying.
Furbolg. Oh, that's the Furbolg. Okay, I thought it was FUR. Sorry, I read that wrong. My bad. Sorry, Jesse.
I love that.
Werewolves. I mean, they've said many times that Eric new birds. Would you want new birds? I mean, if they redid those.
It depends on how they did them. Not top of my list, but I'd be down with them.
Yeah,
I'm sure if they, revisited them in a way that, like you said, would be more pop and swappable. I bet they'd be amazing. But what was I just gonna say? Oh, about the werewolf. Maybe we were just talking about this about how even if they did that in a Figura drop, I'm sure it would be super compatible with legions. I could see it fitting it with that too.
Leprechauns.
But it'd be great if they had a whole race of them, so we got a variety.
That'd be a great way to get the brute scale into Figura.
Yeah. What were we talking about on? I think we're in the Euro Legions guys is having Urxa, the leader of the getting a 2.0 and being more like a Neve scale, like female. I think that would be really cool to get a 2.0 of her.
Idea.
Yeah, and be that large.
I really want to get her, but I would hold out for that for sure.
Because everybody wants brute scale ogres now, or orcs. I'm sorry, not ogres, orcs. Everyone wants brute scale orcs, including myself. Like I want, I don't want all of them to be brute scale, but I want a lot of brute scale orcs at this point. So,
I haven't taken
werewolves are happening.
my Tharnog pop and swap where he's just more bare. I made him sort of like, you know, gladiator or whatever, but I haven't even taken that apart yet. I love it so much.
Yeah, there's a lot you can make from Tharnog, actually. I mean, there really is quite a lot. I mean, it's the head size that's the kicker, but I think there could be some third-party parts out there that would work.
Actually, Vorthog's head actually fits pretty good on there.
Oh yeah, you posted that, didn't you? That did look good. Yeah, that did look
Someone
good.
did. I'm not sure if I did, but yeah.
All right, I'm going to answer this one because it's just a weird question. But why is Trevor's catchphrase "Hi kids"? Was he a teacher at some point? I think I got that. I think I picked that up from David Letterman. David Letterman, like back in the day, like early David Letterman, when he was late night, 12:30 p.m. was the funniest goddamn show on television.
After
like
Johnny.
Pre-Conan.
Yeah.
Hilarious, and he just would always. I think he always said, "Yeah, hey kid," you know he had the you know the stupid human tricks, and what's that little guy? Oh, Kmar, the discount musician or magician, was the best. I loved it. Everything was great about that. But he would always like, "Hey kids, hi kids." So I think I just picked it up from there.
Oh, that's fine.
But that's that. J Mac. Do you have any toys from your childhood in your collection? I think we kind of touched on that. Well, I mean, do we still have some of those? And which toy would you want to track down from your childhood? That's a good question. I like that one. Like, if you could get a toy back from your childhood, what would it be?
One of my favorites was Shockwave, Transformers Shockwave, which the only G1 Transformer I have, and it's not from my childhood. It actually came in a lot that I picked up. Is Jetfire. But when I was a kid, I never had Jetfire, but I had Shockwave, and the Shockwave figure was like just like the toy that got mixed in and played with everything. Like I loved it. It was a giant robot to my G.I. Joes or whatever. It was a gun, like it was its own gun.
He turned into the gun, right? Yeah. I played it as the gun like all the time.
Yeah, I remember I tied a string to it or something to a backpack, and I turned it into a Ghostbusters, like, you know, proton pack wand type thing at one point. Like I just remember just using the hell out of that toy. So I feel like I would really like a really nice condition G1 Shockwave. That would probably be my pick for getting a childhood toy back.
Fun.
Cool. Anything for you, Nate?
Either be some of the, and I think you can get sets that really look a lot like them, but some of my first like space Lego sets.
Oh yeah,
love those.
The space and the knights were great too, man.
Oh yeah, my God. But I think you know what I might get just because it'd just be a kick would be the old Evil Knievel that. You put him on his bike and you kind of wind that thing up, and
I think you can still get that, a new version of it.
Oh, can you?
And they show it like actually jumping over things, which it never did.
Yeah, there's
it was a mess.
I don't know if it's like a TikTok channel or something, but some guy sets up the craziest jumps, like over the funniest shit, like whether it's toys or whatever, flames and stuff. It'd be, but remember, didn't he have like a big like what was it, like a, wasn't a camper van, but remember his like what would you call that?
Yeah, he had a van. It was the Evil Knievel van. It was I totally remember that. Yeah,
so that whole thing and the ramp went up it and all that. So fun.
He would go over it, but he generally would just like completely wipe out on the other side. But
yeah,
it is kind of this too, like, you know, a lot of the things I went on, like it would, you know, I would just, you know, being older than most people on there, I'd be like, hey, fellow kids. So it is a little bit of that too. I did recently pick up, where the hell is this thing? See if I can find it.
If I didn't have so many of my old adventure people still, I'd probably want to hunt some of those down.
I'd a couple other like real strong memories were playing with my Ewok village.
Oh,
which I don't have that. I would love an Ewok village, and then also I specifically remember being at my grandpa's house and getting it must have been Christmas, and getting the G.I. Joe hovercraft. And it was like, I remember like going to the upstairs room to like have like a quiet place to like assemble it and sticker it and like do all that stuff. And I just like have this one like memory of this moment, like assembling a thing that sticks in my head.
That's awesome.
So I remember this thing, and Steve, Mr. Stevie, kind of reminded me of it, because he had picked one up, and then we went to ZoloCon 2 or 3 years ago, and it was on the shelf, and I asked the guy who was running the booth, I guess wasn't there, and his friend was there, and I'm like, how much is for that? So it's called Starbird.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I remember
You remember this thing?
Oh,
the front comes off of it. It jettisons off the front, and the wings come off. Can be little ships.
Small little figures, like static little figures, like maybe this big.
No little figures, just the ships. But it did have like this insane sound that was just like wee 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 wee. It was really like it drove your parents insane. But it was very hard to find with all the different parts in place. People have like reprinted parts and stuff like that, but this was all the original parts. It was in killer shape.
Wow. God, it looks brand new.
It was like, and he's like, I think he'd take like $100. I'm like, I mean, it seems like a lot, but like these things go for, like in a good box, like for $300 or $400. So, with all the parts. So it was really good.
That's a great score.
That up. So that was good.
God,
and the other thing I would look for is this product called this figure. It was like a 8-inch, 9-inch figure called. Look this one up, man. It's called JJ Arms. Okay, this guy was an actual detective who was an amputee, and it's just a weird thing, man. They made a figure of him, but he was this guy that had like these like attachable like claws, and then he had like things that he could slide down a rope with, and magnets and stuff, and it was just so much damn fun to play with. Wow. And it was just some weird dude that was like JJ Arms. That was his name. Like it was.
That totally unlocked another memory. You remember the $6 Million Man figure?
Oh yeah, that's the other one. Yeah, yeah.
You could roll the skin down, and you could see
the skin down. Yep.
The electronics.
Yep, totally.
God, I haven't thought of that.
Absolutely. Let's do a quick giveaway here.
All right. What you got?
Hashtag Furious Curtis. We're going to give away a Furious 4 set autographed by the Furious 4 themselves, courtesy of me winning it from Shooting the Shelf. So through Curtis. So we'll a little tribute to Curtis here. So hashtag Furious Curtis, get in there, and you will win you have the chance to win a Furious 4 autographed by the boys themselves. So get to it. Greg, what are you doing? You have like 6 of these. What are you doing? That's fine. All right, we'll let that simmer for a little while.
What's up, Noah? Speaking of Noah,
what's up, Noah?
New podcast, Mythic Enablers. I think their third ep dropped today. I haven't been able to listen to it yet, but the first 2 were great. Yep. It's always fun just to have another group of the community get together and chat. And again, it's like we were talking about being at MuskeCon, seeing people that you miss. You maybe only get to see once a year, if that. So it's great to be able to hear these guys chat, and you almost feel like you're hanging out with them. So go check out that new podcast if you have not heard it.
Mark R, we must talk, man. Wasn't that the greatest? I got to tell you, man, it was just such a cool. Anybody knows what that is? Look it up on YouTube, because there's stories about who he was and stuff. I think maybe Toy Galaxy might have done a segment on him. I don't know. I kept asking him if he was going to do it, and he said it was in the pipeline, but I don't know if he actually ever did it.
Does not look familiar to me at all.
No, a lot of people didn't know about it, but it's one of those things. It was just such a cool thing. That and Big Jim, like Big Jim was a great thing too. It's kind of like the early G.I. Joe. From Richard Jones, when is Bill shaving his head and turning the beard into a goatee to match you fine gents?
Wasn't the question how big of a super chat do I need to
Oh, there you go.
do?
There you go.
Name a number.
Yeah,
If you really
can put a
want
dollar on it. Let's hear it.
There you go. He's got a dollar figure, kids.
5,000.
$5,000, $5K gets it.
Don't even think about it, Curtis.
Well, the great thing is Bill could just grow his hair back, unlike us.
I know. That's the problem. I know.
I've been thinking about cutting
all right,
it, actually.
Have you?
I wouldn't shave it, but I've been kind of like, you know what? I kind of miss having short hair. So at some point I'm going to cut it.
Long hair was a lot of work, I gotta say. It was a lot of work.
But it's also in some ways less work too. Like, just
you can pull it back.
Ponytail.
Yeah.
And like, it's like I don't have to get haircuts very often.
No, I give myself my haircut. It's called a razor. All right, this is a quick question from me from Patrick Boyle. I thought this was interesting. What figure were you most excited to shoot for the newly announced book that you had never shot before? And now these are all just kind of like black on black shots, so it's not like, a cool environment shot, but it was interesting to go back and start. It made me do. I think we talked a little bit on Euro Legions, but it made me kind of, I had to go backwards and kind of like really look at these figures that kind of been sitting on my shelf, or I'll use them as a background thing or something like that, and look at them again. And there's some really great stuff, man. There's some older figures that are really, really good. Having I never put the skirt on the original Artemis, you know what I mean? And I had to put the skirt on her for the shot. And I'm like, oh, that looks really good. I like the way this looks. Go ahead, Bill. What were you saying?
Are there any? There must be some that you're going to have to borrow, right? Do you have a complete set or no? Or do you?
No, and that's funny. I was just saying this the other day too to someone that. I had it down that I needed 4 figures to be complete, right?
Right.
Now there are a couple like Sir Valgard that I'm not taking out of the box, so they're gonna have to send me a Sir Valgard. Right. But when it got down to taking a picture of, is it Kaldor? Is the
Kador?
Kador, right? Kaldor, yeah, Kador. I swear I had Kador, and I had him checked off the list, and I don't have Kador. As far as I know, I don't have Kador. And the other one was the female barbarian, which I have to go in my parts bin because I could see me like rating that for parts or something like that. And like I might have another one in a box somewhere, and I just thought, I'll take this one apart. I'll get another one later. I know I have that one, but I can't find it anywhere. So, I think I'm 6 short now, but for the most part, I have, most of them. They were willing to send them to me, but then I would have had to have all those boxes, take them out of the box, take all the stuff out, put them back in the box, keep them organized. I'm like, I got all my stuff organized. I've got all the accessories like labeled, like which came with which. So like if there's a staff, how many people came with a spear, it's the spear that came with whatever character that was. Like if it's painted like silvery gray, that's the one that came with it. If it's painted black, that's the one that came with it. So I pretty much have all that stuff pretty well organized.
To do this task, for sure.
Exactly, yeah. But to answer Patrick's question, I was thinking about it, and I think that the Arethyr was like when I went to G-Con, and it was the first time I started talking to those guys about doing stuff for them. I never got to shoot Arethyr, so there's some really nice looking figures in Arethyr, one of the more modern waves, and I think I'm looking forward to shooting those because that's a lot of my Leodicius guys too. So I love them.
Cool.
But it's been fun to see all those things be upgraded, like Torian. So many beautiful colors on that figure. And just like lit right, it just looks so good. You know what I mean? It's gonna be fun to have those all in there. So, what else? You guys can do this. Any speculation on the next wave?
Cosmic, I think. I think the next thing will be a cosmic wave. I think it'll be a continuation.
Next wave be a cosmic wave.
Of the what's Ox Crew, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right. We know that. We already know that, right? Don't we know that there's going to be a second half?
We know there's going to be more.
Like
whether that's the next one in line. But,
yeah. So like whatever the next continuation of Ox Crew is you know,
Right.
that's I mean, but that seems like the most obvious thing, right? Like, so that I mean, but if I'm thinking about Legions wave, I kind of hope they go back to crossing a lot of factions in a wave, and like not just having so what's the logical next step? Circle back and have like two of the ones repeat that we've had before, and then the guy gods or whatever. I don't necessarily want that. I'd like to see them do a themed wave, story-based wave, where it's
more
all
like
about
they
the
do for
story,
Cosmic.
but you could
Like-
put any faction could be in it, and maybe there's all
Like
the
Siege
factions
and
in it.
Bjorngar and like those things.
Covenant
like
of
they
Shadow,
sort of
like
like what
those-
they're doing
Covenant of
for
Shadow,
like you said, Outpost Zaxius or Ox
Exactly.
Crew, like stuff like that, like that they're doing for Cosmic. Do that for for Mythic.
Yeah, well, they kind of did that with Soul Spiller, Siege and Bjorngard, Wasteland. It was like specific little stories. I mean, they didn't build them out the way they did the Cosmic Waves with the story, but I'd like to see them do that. You know, like to have something that's like here's a battle that took place or a meeting that took place that's going to be in the book or something like that. You know, and have like new figures that are involved in that meeting or whatever. It'd be pretty cool. I totally think you're right, Bill.
I think a wave that had one character from each faction would be really cool.
Yeah,
like
King Castle's many
mixed wave like that.
That'd be a cool thing to do for a 10-year anniversary.
Be big.
Yeah, for an
it would.
Should make sense, you know, to do something like that.
It would. What is this? So I just went through a whirlwind of JJ Harms and facts. He's real, but real puffed up stuff. Yeah, well, absolutely. Yeah, it's a whole weird thing. But it was a cool toy. It was a cool toy. I didn't even know it was a real person.
Zipline hand.
Well, no, he didn't actually have magnetic hands or anything like that. He just was missing
climbing walls
hands.
and shit.
Right, yeah, he had suction cups and stuff like that. Yeah, no. It was a cool ass toy though.
Caught so many bad guys.
That's right. Let's see, who else we got? How we doing on entries here? Let's see. 70 people? All right, cool. That's good. I'm going to give it another 2 minutes. Maybe we'll answer one more question here. All right, let's just talk about Dusty Standiford says, what are we watching? That's always timely. So, I mean, what are you guys watching? I mean, Bill, you just saw Dune. We've all seen Dune. It's fantastic.
Incredible.
Highly recommended.
I'm watching Halo right now. I'm just started season 2.
I hear that's really good. I gotta watch that.
I'm hearing it's got good. Yeah, never played the game, so I don't really know much about it. But I mean, I do know a little bit about it. But I heard it's pretty decent.
Me playing the game and what I did out my basement window story. So we'll skip that part.
Really.
Yeah, I do want to watch that because I played the hell out of the game.
Bad Batch. I'm also watching Bad Batch, but I'm
Bad Batch is good
because I'm also watching Halo. So at some point I'll because I just got Disney Plus back last week because my daughter wanted to watch the Taylor Swift concert. So we just got that back, so I'm just gonna start working my way through Bad Batch. I'm 2 episodes in on that.
All right. Yeah, it's really
Noah, you gotta
using a lot.
No, you gotta text me and let me know how you feel about that afterwards. Bad Batch is really good. It's kind of like that last season of Clone Wars that was ooh, I kind of wish this was happening all along. You know what I mean? There's no little side stories and little fun, morality tales things. Not that there's a lot of that stuff, but there's no filler episodes. It's all it's good.
Omega. Yeah, it's really good.
You guys are watching Shogun, or you're watching Shogun?
I'm watching Shogun. That's phenomenal. Yeah, Bill, you got to watch it. It's amazing.
I'll check it out at some point.
So good. So good. We just watched Spaceman last night on Netflix.
Was that good?
So that's Adam Sandler.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it's Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler, I love The Water Boy. Little Nicky, not so much.
Happy Gilmore, that's a classic.
Happy Gilmore. great.
Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison. Those are the two for me.
That's it. Billy Madison. Yeah. Not the water boy. Billy Madison. Yeah, exactly. But his dramatic stuff, I have loved everything he's done. Punch Drunk Love. What was the one with the gambling that he just did?
Gems.
A couple years ago. Gems. Uncut Gems.
Yeah.
And Spaceman is maybe not. It's not at that level, but he's good. Like it's a dramatic part. It's weird, and I think it's kind of supposed to be like a feel good thing, but it's not what you're expecting. Like it's interesting. It's worth a watch because it's only like an hour and a half long. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's on my list. Cool. We just finished up Masters of the Air. It's the
I gotta watch that.
Along the lines of Band of Brothers in the Pacific.
I love Band of Brothers.
Tom Hanks and Spielberg are involved. Playtone. It was good. It was really good. It's based on a book by the same title, which was my favorite book on the air war in World War II, and it might be among the top probably 10 books, and I've read a million books on World War II in general. It's phenomenal, and they did a really good job with it. So
who hurt you, Curtis? What is wrong with you? It wasn't terrible.
What was I just also finished up True Detective, which was I thought, the first one of that was great. The other two not so much, but I thought this season was decent.
Yeah, I didn't love the ending, but it was good. Nothing beats that first season.
I know.
And if you watch some YouTube channels, there are some tie-ins throughout all of them, I guess, or at least they're trying to speculate. I think people have way too much time on their hands, but there's supposedly some sort of
picked up on that, but
tie-in for all of them. But despite what everybody's saying here, I think Spaceman's worth a watch. It's not the greatest thing I've ever seen. It was interesting though. It kind of makes you think a little bit if you're that type of person.
Blue Eye Samurai was another recent watch that I super highly recommend. That
I watched that too on your recommendation. Really
absolutely. Good. Yep. All right, let's go over to the. Let's give this thing away. We're coming up on 2 hours, so I don't want to go too much longer than that. I don't
got one more question when we get a minute that I thought was good.
Yep. Let's do this. Let's draw this. We got 83 people in here, 103 people. Hit that like while you're at it, please. Even Darla. Well, there's no accounting for taste. I'm sorry. I think she's got more taste than you do, but it's a pretty good. It was decent. Anyway, Furious Curtis. Here we go for the Furious 4 autographed set. Get your entries in and go.
Good luck.
Watch Curtis win.
Speaking of Darla, picked up one of her capes at MuskeCon. It's awesome.
Oh, hey, Jordan.
All right.
Congratulations, buddy. You get another thing you can give away on your show. This is just going to go from show to show to show. I think we just make this whoever wins has to give it away someplace else, and we just continually give this thing away.
Next up,
I love Curtis entering his own contest
That's
for his own prize. All right. Well, you know how to get a hold of me, so you get a hold of me, and I'll get that, or Curtis will get that over to you. So that's a good question. I like this. Thanks for the super chat, Rob. Appreciate it, man.
The one you favorite over the others. Who wants to
start?
start?
Answer that one.
Go ahead.
So, my favorite faction is the Legion of Arethyr, and the Goblins are really what made that one,
of course,
over the others for me.
Of course. Nate, what's yours? Where do you want me to go? You want me to go?
You can go, sure.
All right. So Leodicea, I'm kind of in between Leodicius and Zylona's flock. Zylona's flock was my first. I love the skeletons, but just because they're the characters, not necessarily the faction. Although that Necronominus wave comes out, and I may be changing my mind. But there's something about Leodicius that I didn't really care for at first. There wasn't anything exceptional about Atlas, or Attila. And some of the other ones were kind of was Otho, which was tough to get, and the Mercurian that was green. What the hell's his name? That was the custom one. Deltagar. And it was just kind of, but then they came out with the Arethyr wave, and they started, suddenly their armor started matching, and the red and gold and the lions and stuff. And I was like, I don't know. It was just it fed right into my like whole Arthurian, love of the Arthurian tales and stuff like that, and just feeling very much like a squad of knights and fighters and stuff like that. And I just like, and I'm not into like like militaristic regimen. I'm very much anti that, but like something I like about it, like it just like appeals to me. The look of it just looks really, really cool. And now they look really good with the new, Attila looks great with everybody else, and Magnus and everybody else. So I don't know. I just like them. But Cylona's flock, obviously the woodland creatures and things like that, the elves. It's a great looking faction too, especially with the colors that all kind of mesh together.
That might be my second.
Yeah, that's my favorite faction. And the variety. We get such a variety of characters in there.
Yeah, that is.
I mean, you've got in there. To me, they're just such fantasy. So many fantasy type trope characters in this line, in that faction. And they're beautifully done. The colors. I love the woodland stuff. We got a freaking.
I mean, my first inclination was I always thought elves were kind of douchebags, but I do love the look of that faction, man. They're great. They're really good, and I think that Artemis 2 is probably one of my favorite, among my favorite figures. She looks great. It's a good looking figure. So that's that. We got anything else to wrap this up? Any other questions from anybody?
I'm not seeing any, and I'm sorry if I missed something, but I don't think so.
All right. Well, I think that's a good place to end it then. Appreciate everybody showing up. We had like 110 people in here, I think, at one point. Hopefully everybody hit that like. Congratulations to Jordan. Roadhouse. Okay, yeah.
I've actually heard that's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. New Ghostbusters is like, I think, I don't know. It's hard to say that there isn't like a lot of people like sort of like not defending it, but kind of like, it's good. You know what I mean? It's not as, it's not blowing up like I think people thought it was hoping it could. Because I enjoyed the last movie. I thought it was really good.
I did too. I thought it was really
I was kind of hoping.
I like Paul Rudd a lot. Cool.
Who hurt me? My favorite at first was Arethyr. For some reason now it's Order of Aetheron. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, wonder why. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's right. For some reason. Yeah, okay. That's true. I went right over my head. Is there an All-Stars vote coming up soon? I don't know. I was talking to Curtis. Curtis is anti All-Stars, and Jeremy, was talking about how to make All-Stars better. And I don't know how we got into this, but we were talking about head packs. And I said, I just kind of came to me. There is a reason for this, sort of. It may have been in the back of my head, but like, what if we could get heads that had replaceable hair parts, like hair pieces, like you could swap out hair. That would be kind of cool, I think. Yeah, well, I don't know about hair packs, but maybe eventually, if you've got enough heads with like, a receptacle in it, like a hole in it or something like that to swap out hair. It's a good way to like, you could take a head and make it a cosmic head without having, the exact same hair that it had in Mythic or whatever, like the case with the Fisher Rice or whatever.
If they started making heads like that and some hair that was swappable, then the third party people would take off with that and we'd get a ton of different.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. For sure. Thomas, thank you very much for the $4.99 super chat. Appreciate you too, man. Very much so. I hope everything's going good for you. I hope you're back. Thomas won a couple of weeks ago. He won as a Hazar, which is cool. All right, I think we're done. I think that's it. I think that's a show. Appreciate you guys coming on.
For Pop and Swap Stars 3, right? This will be our third year.
Yeah, I haven't kept track of how many, but I think it is the third year. So it's just Pop and Swap Stars 2024, and I will post rules and stuff up on the Cabal in probably by next week, if not this week. we'll get that started in April, and that's going to be fun. I can't wait.
Starting to think about it or start playing around.
Yeah. No, in fact, start thinking about it. So you know that you can pick 3 of any figure you want. Any figures that's available, 3 of those, limited to 3. Pop and swap them and go nuts, man.
The basic rules:
first, second, third place.
No painting, no third-party stuff. So it's just strictly 4 Horsemen.
Strictly pop and swap. Yep, that's it. Yep, and look for that. Look for prizes, and we'll announce the judges and all that stuff. Well, we do that last so that nobody tries to influence them. But that's all coming up soon. Appreciate everybody coming by, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Who knows what we'll be talking about then? We'll see.
Cool.
All right, everybody. Good night. Good night, guys. Anything coming up for you on the channel? You want to plug?
No, nothing this week, but next week I'm going to try to get at least one video up, hopefully this week, because I'll have this weekend free. But next week, Blake is going to be on April 4th, I believe, next Thursday, the 4th.
Cool. Very cool. Purple Pop and Swap will win Furious Curtis 4-pack and much more. There you go. All right, there you go. So we've just given them a prize for the best Purple Pop and Swap. So we'll talk to the Purple Gang and see if we can hook something up for them. All right, guys. Thank you very much, and have a great night, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
See you.
Bye.